Hello, I am Corinne.
And I'm Luana.
We are here to talk about Black women shifting in the workplace.
Shifting can be defined as altering the expectations that others have for themselves, altering their outer appearance, or modifying their speech.
Black women often do this to combat the stereotypes and racial injustices that they face daily.
Our goal for this video is to simply bring awareness to the everyday struggles that Black women face that most people cannot even imagine.
We also want to inform others about how their actions can and do affect Black women, and how the conscious and subconscious stereotypes that they place on Black women in the workplace. The workplace can be a very intimidating place when we feel like we don't fit in. People who may not understand why we talk, dress, act, or style our hair a certain way is common to find when we walk into a workplace. Like we mentioned earlier, the need to feel more comfortable or to change how we present ourselves, otherwise known as shifting, might be felt in a scenario like this.
As Black women, we know that there are so many prejudices and other factors that make it hard for us to even get our foot in the door, and shifting is something that we use to help. According to a Gallup poll, we are less likely to feel like we are treated with respect or like a valued member of a team while at work. A study done in 2011 titled The Context of Workplace Sex Discrimination found that if the number of the minority group are very low, they are often singled out and become the subject of different hostilities. If the number of the minority group becomes too large in the workplace, the majority group may see this as a threat and become even more hostile to the group.
Our growing presence in the workplace is often seen as a threat to the majority white male corporate world, and this has to be addressed. White women are innovators and leaders in so many different fields. It is important for our talents and ideas not to be unintentionally silenced by the need to shift. Shifting affects the mental health of Black women because they often feel as though there is not an environment for them where they can fully be their unapologetic self, where nobody is expecting them to act a certain way or be a certain person.
When you're never allowed to be yourself, it can lead to a decrease in mental health, depression, and even in some cases, suicide. According to WebMD, poor mental health can lead to poor physical health and even harmful behaviors. The constant changes in behaviors can cause for there to be a disconnect in identity development and personal preservation because they are never allowed to be just one person for an extended period of time.
When talking about Black women in the workplace, Sharice Jones and Kuma Gooden can be quoted in their book titled Shifting: The Double Lives of Black Women in America as, Jenny realized that she was suffocating beneath the mask she donned each day for work, the anxiety about what she would face each day, the weariness from being overworked, the anger at the condescending comments and the sexual overtones from clients, and the antagonizing about whether and how to respond was slowly making her very ill. Shifting can also lead to feelings of isolation and loneliness in Black women as they feel as though there is no one they can turn to express their feelings of worry and sadness. The constant back and forth can lead to confusion and the feelings of an identity crisis, which is when a person is questioning their sense of self and place in the world.
The ability to feel safe or understood in your work environment should not be a privilege, but a right that all people should have, and most people do have, but not a lot of Black women do. You might be wondering, what is there that I can do as a white man, or a woman, or even a man of color to make my coworker feel comfortable to be herself in the workplace?
We suggest that the first place you start is to acknowledge what is appropriate in the workplace and what is not. When you think of a question to ask your Black woman coworker, ask yourself, if this were a white woman, or even if it were a man, would you ask the same question?
For example, would you ask a white woman if you could cut your hair, or hear a name that isn't typically American, ask her, where are you really from? Don't assume that she's only able to work in the same environment as you because of some diversity policy, but under the assumption that her journey to the same workplace was twice as hard.
Make sure that she is given the same leniency and held to the same standard as her coworkers. The stereotype of the lazy welfare mother may infiltrate the minds of some of your coworkers when perceiving the other Black woman in the workplace. But put prejudices such as those to an end. Other stereotypes, such as the sexually promiscuous Jezebel, can also bring challenges in the workplace where coworkers may view her as a target for harassment.
It's common for Black women to feel like their issues aren't being taken seriously or like they don't have people who will stick up for them. Believe her when she speaks of different instances of discrimination and use her privilege to eradicate the issue.
Black women have more opportunity in the workforce now than ever. Our ability to feel more comfortable and secure voicing our ideas and opinions in the workplace will have an impact on the trajectory of our entire global society. What will you do to make sure Black women are welcomed in the workplace?